right, hey, welcome to another edition of RunBuck on Games. I'm RunBuck. Got another war recap for you. This time we're taking a look at I think it was a random matchup with the Code Enigma, which is a fair play clan. And as you can see here, we ended up winning 85 to 79. What's more notable, though, is we actually overcame, in this case, it was a 30 on 30 war. And if you look at the map, you can kind of see it. But we didn't have any Town Hall 11s. They had two 10.5 Town Hall 11s. So they had +4 on the nukes coming down into Town Hall 10, so it should have given them a real strong advantage in terms of 3-star opportunities on Town Hall 10, because they had Grand Warden 16 and 12 in those two Town Hall 11s, but we ended up being able to overcome it because we had a lot of great Town Hall 10 peer 3-stars. So let's take a look at those. We had a lot of voting in this war for feature attacks, 9 total, but we'll look at 4, maybe 5. But let's start with, like I said, the Town Hall 10 hits. First off, we'll take a look at Chris's hit on Joe. I haven't looked at any of these. We're just going right off the cuff, so we'll do the usual fast speed, watch it through, and then kind of try to get a feel. It's interesting that Chris here is going with the old school queen walk, which a lot of people kind of went out of favor with. I think it's making a slight comeback. People are starting to realize, you know what, it still works. But the nice thing I just noticed there was he recognized that his queen walk cleared a direct line for a minor movement into the eye towers, and then he could basically replicate the same thing on the other side. So really what's cool about this attack is that he understood a sustained way, an attack that didn't really lose anything but time and exposed a critical part of the defense. Let's look at it again this time and kind of think about what we just saw and why it made such good sense. Is that, so when you look at this, any time that you can get a type of attack through, and look where the ADs are too. I mean, now granted he couldn't do it on this side, right? Can't queen walk that very easily, well, because he'll get into pressure from this. But over here, he's giving him the opportunity to clear this part of the map with a sustained, no units lost type approach, and then that exposes a very clean hit into the eye tower. And I think that's what really the core of that attack was, when you think about it. Sorry, the dog is having a party today. But the core of that attack was really that aspect, to recognize that eye tower was exposed. And let's think about this now. So he's clearly trying to get a clear path here as well. I mean, granted, it's a given. He's a freebie. And his minor deployment is coming through and down. This was a fresh hit, I'm pretty sure. Yep, it was. So he didn't know those Teslas would be outside. So really, probably he didn't. It just kind of an ad hoc solution to the backside eye tower. But the Teslas being on the outside were more of a surprise. But again, I think the biggest thing that he did there that was really good was that clearing of everything, including this, to where it was an exposed attack line for miners to go directly in. You get that, you're often halfway to the finish of a 3-star on Town Hall 10 Pier. Let's move on to another great Town Hall 10 attack. We had, who do we want to look at? So we could look at Swoo, A-Boy, or Chris. Let's look at Swoo, because his was also a fresh attack. Swoo. Where are you at? Was that 9? Yes. Alright, Swoo. Let's take a look at yours. So again, we'll go 4 times speed. Kind of get a sense. Now it is level 1 and level 2 eye tower, so it's not a fully maxed base. So we can't give him a maximum high 5. We'll have to give him a soft high 5 in this case. But again, with the queen walk / queen charge into the base, clearing, notice again what we're getting, is we're getting the clearing against the eye tower. So really, but in this case, it wasn't a clearing to open for the miners. This is another style, which is where you can walk the queen and her shot pattern, like if she went 1, 2, and the third was this, there's enough time to where she doesn't hang up on whatever she's clearing till she gets the shot on the eye tower, to where she doesn't die by the time the eye tower burns it, and she's not under pressure. So let's look at that base and kind of look at what Swoo saw. Now, first off, it's a entry level eye tower. Most of the DPS stuff is back here, so he's going to be way back here when he's dealing with that and this, right? So he's not only in this too, but by the time he's there, so the only real thing that's going to tie him up while he's under fire of the, or locked onto something that would have to be under fire of the Inferno, is that CC. But the rest he deals with, and then the rest is really lightweight DPS buildings, right? So he's really got his external high DPS stuff on the outside. And that was pretty weak. So he's able to just push through. Oh, I forgot about this one. But the key is not so much that I forgot it, but it was out of range of this. Because this is where, see how now the queen is taking real damage because the healers, while she's on fire, she can't take the heal, right? So she swung out and in. And it's really kind of hard to predict whether she'll, what her targeting sequence will be as she approaches that. But it's really actually important to understand. I mean, you can just kind of throw it in on it, but once you got that, then it's clearly you have a very narrowing of the base to start with, and then as you see here, he's rotating through and using a king sprint or a king run forward to clear and keep the hogs coming from the backside, but keep the miners on the inside. Did the queen even die there? No, did not. So yeah, so that was not bad either. One other, well, we have one that we'll show on. We'll show. Let's see. A-Boy finally figured out a peer attack on a Town Hall 10 on the 4th attack. So we'll save that one for bonus. But Carlos cracked his on the first hit. We'll show his now. This one, number 6. So there's a lot of Town Hall 10 peer attacks. A lot of good stuff in this war. And this is probably what broke the back of Code Enigma, because when you're running engineered bases like those 10.5s, really what you're trying to do is win via an advantage of nuke. Trying to always have a consistent nuke advantage. So to be able to overcome that was a good day for us. So again, same type of flow. Not with the queen though. So this actually let's run through that again. It's a lot quicker. His was faster. 27 miners, 6 bowlers. So a lot of meat shield, no healers. So instead of healers, he's going meat shield. It'd be interesting to try to think about why this base might be more susceptible to golems. Let's pause for a second. So when you're looking at that AD, right? You could take that AD out. You could have driven in and walked and then driven in with a queen, although she would be under fire of the Inferno, which could be problematic, and she would die. But in this case, we've got 2 golems plus the king and other sundry things running around in there where she might not get targeted. But I don't think that was really the strategy. Maybe Carlos can comment on it. So let's keep going. But definitely, to know that your kill squad, so he's given the jump, so really he has access from just walking, standing, access to this, and shooting access probably to anywhere in here. Right? So the question is whether or not your kill squads can survive long enough to really get these key components, which are here and here. I would say this one yes, but that one no. Right? So let's take a look and see if that guess of what's going to happen works. Definitely have created the narrowing of the base, right? So you've got this chunk of the base to kind of drive through with the miners. There's a little bit of a risk that the miners will swing out, forcing your queen to do the work of what the miners do. Let's see how it actually reacts. Oh, but see, now they have this Tesla here. Now, if they wouldn't have had that Tesla there, the miners would actually have swung around and kept his protected. But by putting that Tesla in there, they will come into this, and then they were actually going to go in. I think. Let's see. Yep, there they go. So if they were trying, the reason why you have these big boxes, these big voids in the base, is to limit pathing, to basically make it difficult to path miners into eye towers. Or if you're doing it with expos or whatever. And so in this case, it's really like when you put that stuff in there, you either like I've seen people put storages in there, like there's big storages, 2x2, and then there's Inferno right there. But the reason they do that is that then DPS at range is sitting out here firing in while they're locked on and being burned down by the Inferno. So where a heal couldn't save them either, right? Because sometimes they'll try to heal through. So really that base design was bad in a way. Really enabled Carlos's miners to get through. Now he might have gotten it anyway. Would have been more interesting, but he doesn't really have. He's got. Well, yeah, even if it would have, he would have been under fire through this. They would have been weaker. Yeah, I don't know. But either way, good attack by Carlos. Now let's shift down. We actually had some interesting Town Hall 9 attacks as well. The one that was voted on to be shown was actually a 3 Pekka attack down on number 18 by alasdair. Crawl. Here we go. Alright, alasdair, let's see. 4 times speed and take a look at what you got. So we got some cuts going on. Looks like it's going to be a 10:30 attack line, and here they come. So if we pause that, what really that base enabled or was taunting was this huge, look at this, it's all open. Everything is open except for this down here, right? And so if he can just walk his stuff this way, and at some point, where do these guys lock in? When they come down in this direction, and then he hogs in off the backside with them on the distract, it's pretty obvious that that is going to be a problem for the defense to deal with. Let's see if that's actually how it works out. Yep, there they go. So there are the Pekkas running into the mid, right? But the issue is that with those guys, with the Expos swung in, there's really not a lot to stop a mass of hogs coming in from the other side. Oh, some did get spring trapped. What does he have? 3 left there? Not bad too, because that's a 14-16 hero set. Pretty good. I didn't catch at the beginning what the defensive heroes were at, but when we used to have a lot, when people used to play Pekka, if you recall, there were other Pekka strategies a long time ago. Like there were, I'm not talking about Go Wipe, but there were strategies that had the Pekkas driving into core and then being distract for like loon movement. And really, a lot of the conversation revolved around how many walls did the Pekkas have to break through. So when you give an open field, type base, to basically switch back to Pekkas is not. Makes a lot of sense. It reminds you of a day gone by. And maybe that's what Supercell's hoping. Let's go. So I want to see what the levels of those heroes were. 24, 26. So yeah. Pretty good, alasdair. Knocked right up and took him out. Went up the ladder and took him out anyway. Alright, so last one, bonus round, as I promised. A-Boy. 4th hit on this Town Hall 10. He came in. And what the interesting thing was on the Town Hall 10 was the entry point on it. Everyone felt was an innovative entry. So see if you feel the same way here. See if the entry point on this attack, I think it actually comes from this direction. So when you look at that, a lot of people will try to drive in, but let's go 4 times speed. The cuts are pretty as expected. Bowlers in behind Royals, then the jump. Okay, anybody feel? Now one thing that's the base is letting him do there is you'll notice that there's not a lot of stuff on the flanks to pull his stuff offline. He really wants it to go here, really wants it to go in and continue. So, but the fact that the bowlers are here and are chucking out, right, leaves a lot of health right in this middle. So there's a very good chance, because there's such a, I guess you would call it a density of health here, that the bowler squad that he has will clear the edges first and then drive through. Right? So maybe as you look at bases, if you see that, like a dense area of health surrounded by lighter units, you can kind of assume a bowler team will clear the edge. You kind of know how the bowlers will flow. They'll flow first clearing the edges, and then they're going to flow back to the high DPS component. High health component, I mean. The storages. And then he comes off the side with the miners. And that too is kind of a good call. I mean, to realize that once they're here, they're going to be able to sweep in, and basically they're going to hop and go because of this break right there, right? Because when they're sitting right here, you got a 4 tile, You got a 4-tile jump to this, and you got, what is that, a 6-tile jump over to that. So you know that they're going to go here, and then once they're here, you know they're going to go into that space as well. So a lot of different factors that A-Boy probably looked at as he did that attack. Pretty good attack either way. And that does it. So a good war. Everybody was excited about it. The Town Hall 10 Structure 30 is still running well. Our Town Hall 11s have been on vacation, so the Town Hall 10s and 9s are carrying the flag and doing quite a job. Good luck in your wars, guys. We'll talk to you soon.
What am I gonna do? My clan sucks. Hey, it's JTJ.
I think that's an all-out attack.
No, it's the legendary JTJU. JTJU. What? I like Wryhorn. You and this army. Download Clash of Clans for free. Then subscribe to JTJU and win.